All right, welcome in. Welcome back to the BFR Podcast presented by Sports Mockery. My name is Dave. I cover the Bears for SM, joined by my good friend, co-host, Chicago Bears content creator, Ficky. And, of course, we have our Jack, our producer, on the sticks as well. He's also going to obviously join the post-game show. You all love him. He's here. He missed episode 100, but who cares? Bears win, though. Bears win. Big blowout win, baby. No, seriously, this is what we've expected. This is kind of what we expected heading into the season. Obviously, it's a little bit slow of a start. Game number 5, you're playing a team that you need to beat, and not only did they do that, they beat them like single-handedly, right? It was what we wanted, Ficky, on our preview. We wanted this one to be a blowout. No worries in the fourth quarter. So we'll get into everything, but an instant reactions, Ficky. How are you feeling off of this? 30-point win, whatever it was?
Yeah, it was a 26, kind of crazy, right? And this is exactly, like you said, this is exactly what we wanted, right? Come out of the gates, show your dominance, insert the dominance. Like, we are the better team here from the start, and we did that. There was a crazy stat that came up, right? And I feel like I knew this, but like being reminded, you're like, holy shit. This game, we scored a touchdown in the first quarter. We have not had a first quarter touchdown season, which is wild to think about it because we've been in all the games. So just seeing that, even though the first drive wasn't great, the defense gave up that rushing touchdown, which I'm not blaming the defense. They still played lights out. And then, we had that 3 and out. So we're like, oh my God, I think I tweeted, I was like, this offense is so hard to watch. I'm like, this is about to be the same old shit that we always see. They shut me up. I was completely wrong. It's great to see how they handled that, even some of the adversity. And I know we'll talk about Caleb, but boy, like, he looked good. And you're not going to play the Panthers every week, so it's not going to be this easy every week. But you love to see him come out and just show the world, this is why I'm the number 1 pick. So that was great to see.
Yeah. No, I agree. Jack, I'm going to go to you, and then I'll finish up with just the instant reactions from this one.
Yeah, like Ficky just said, it's the Panthers, and so you tweeted it earlier, Dave. You're like, this is a must-win. Like, you have to win this one, and I'm glad we did by a sizable amount, too. Obviously, it would have been a little bit of a different story if we, scraped by 24-21, something like that. Boys showed up to play. It was an easy opponent, on paper. If you just look at the matchups, we were supposed to win this 10 out of 10 times. So, yeah, I'm overjoyed that we came up, because usually we come into these games, like in the previous seasons, where it's like, oh, dude, this is easy. We definitely got this one. And then we all get surprised, and then we're all depressed for 7 more days. So
Yeah, no, it started off slow. There's a comment here on YouTube. First of all, Bears win. Hit the like button. I know we're just getting started 2 minutes in. Hit the like button. If you hear everything going good, you guys look concerned.
No, we're good. We're good.
Okay, I'm like, what happened here, man?
Good.
Does this win not count? What the hell? You guys look concerned, but no, that's true.
Used to wins like this.
We are not used to it, but we are used to how we started, right? I was nervous. I'm not going to lie to you. I could not believe it. I didn't go doomsday, but I was like, man, I am getting tired of these slow starts, these 3 and outs. And the Bears hats off to Shane Waldron. We gave him his flowers last week. He needs them this week as well. Caleb Williams, I know the title of our YouTube is, he has arrived. Seriously, this is his game. He should have had 3 touchdowns, right? If there wasn't for that clipping, he would have had 3 touchdowns, 1 rushing, 2 passing. He just looked so calm, so confident, and he was obviously, he was marvelous. Honestly, last week we saw his pocket presence. He's just getting better each week. And at first, it's a cliche to say, it's like, oh, he's getting better each week. You hear that. What does it really mean? But no, he truly, truly is. The numbers speak for themselves. I want to bring it up real quick.
Here, we can bring up Caleb's stuff. Jack,
well, no, I want to go over the last 3 weeks.
Oh, go ahead.
3 weeks, yeah. And then let's get to those numbers for sure, Ficky, because his last 3 games, 70 for 104. So 70 completions, 104 attempts, 824 yards passing, 5 touchdowns, 104.4 passer rating. The kid, he had 1 pick.
1 pick? That's still pretty.
One pick in 3 games. 1 pick in 3 games. I am so excited about his development. And I know there's comparisons when it comes to Jaden and even, CJ Stroud, but all these young quarterbacks are balling outside of a couple like Bryce Young and whatever it is. But seriously, I think we're allowed to just enjoy this moment that our quarterback, Caleb Williams, is among the other elite young quarterbacks right now that are ascending in this league. And it's okay, obviously, to enjoy that. But I don't think we need to bring down any other quarterback. I mean, Jaden's electric. Caleb is electric. I think it's fun to have a quarterback finally that you're going to need to compete in this league for the next 10 to 15 years. So right now, everything's trending in that direction. So I think, obviously, I don't want to, it's an instant reaction, but you got to feel good if you're a Bears fan here.
Absolutely.
So,
we saw a perfect mix of Caleb this game. We saw Caleb in pocket, clean pocket, right? But first off, hats off to the offensive line. They did a pretty good job. They only gave up 1 sack today. Not that many pressures. Like, they did a pretty
great
good job.
job.
Great job.
Yeah.
When Caleb had a clean pocket, bro, I think 2 of his touchdowns with DJ Moore because of that clean pocket. There's times where I counted he had like 5-6 seconds back there. So fantastic job by the line. But we saw a mix of Caleb delivering accurate deep balls, right? Some good looks, right? Going through his progressions.
Yeah.
So the in-pocket stuff that people were concerned about. And then we also saw a lot of the evasive, whether it ended up being there's a couple of them where he threw it away, but him having the ability to extend it, whether it was rushing into a touchdown, buying time to convert on a 3rd down, it was just like a perfect mix where you can walk away and be like, that's the quarterback we're hoping to look for the future. The one that's deliberate and accurate on the early downs and where you need to, and the one that will extend it when you need to get that 1st down on 3rd down. So it was just like a perfect mix. Was it a perfect game? No, not across the board on the offense. We know that. But overall, you can't walk away from an offensive performance with 5 touchdowns. Let me say that again. 5 touchdowns. Be upset with what the offense did today.
No, I agree. Let's get to his numbers, Vic. You want to bring up those graphs?
Yeah, Jack, if you don't mind bringing up let's do the game first, and then we'll go to Caleb. So what we have here is obviously the Bears won 36-10. As I said, 5 touchdowns. It's so weird to say. I would never thought we'd see that. Caleb had over 300 passing yards, but for some of the sacks, like your totals, it goes against your passing. So, but 296 for the Bears versus 172 for the Panthers. Rushing yards, great to see as well. 3 touchdowns, rushing touchdowns for us. 128 rushing yards versus their 120. We had 24 first downs to their 14. We had 1 pick on Andy Dalton. Shout out Kevin Byard. And then we had 3 sacks while we only gave up 1. Now, diving into Caleb Williams particularly, even better. Look at that. I just love this Air Jordan. 20 for 29. Great, right? And that's not just dink and dunk because the man had 304 passing yards. And there was a couple of drops. Well, we saw the DJ Moore one, which is crazy. I know he's heartbroken about that. But there was a couple of drops these games where he easily could have had maybe 330, 340. But the good thing, which we love to see, particularly with the rookie quarterback, 0 turnovers. 0 turnovers. That is how you keep yourselves in game. And then he had 34 rushing yards, but with the QB rating of 126. Crazy. And so, like you said, Dave, the past 3 games, like we've seen improvements from a statistical standpoint. We have, because if you go off a QBR, I think he went from like 80, 102, and then this week 126. Now, obviously, it doesn't mean like it's going to keep linearly going up, but it's just good to see that he's turning the ball over less. He's going through his progressions better. And I feel like he has, like you said, he has more comfort in the pocket. And it helps that he actually had a pocket that he could feel comfortable in. So, like, the offensive line being good on the run blocking because they developed the run early, and then also not having him, running for his life back there is gonna make his life and his development much easier, specifically for a rookie quarterback.
No, the numbers speak for themselves. I want to throw another stat line in here. 1,091 passing yards in his first 5 games. That's a franchise record. Like, if that does, we saw electric plays from Justin. Even Jay Cutler at times was awesome. But for a rookie quarterback to come in and even struggle his first two and a half games, right? It wasn't pretty. Confidence did not go down. Like, I think it's a testament to him and Shane Waldron and just kind of being consistent. I love that they are just really running the ball so much better over these last two and a half games, right? I think that's huge for not just the Bears offensive line, but for Caleb, obviously, there was receivers. Cole Kmet is playing well. I honestly, you have to feel so good for it to finally start coming together. And especially at a very important time when you need to win the Bears need to go 4-0 in the next, they did one. So they need to win 3 more games here, kind of finish out 6-2 heading into that harder part of the schedule. And you took care of business today in a really dominant fashion. So I love it. Man. The numbers are the numbers, but can't help but get excited.
As Bears fans, it's so hard. There's definitely stuff to critique, but we don't see this team win like this. We don't see this team show up,
Yeah.
do what they are expected to do. A team like this, like Jack said earlier, past ones they would blow a lead somehow, right? Maybe they got the lead up, but then you'd see the second half they didn't do shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just nice to know that this team literally came in and basically was like, look, this is our game from quarter 1 to quarter 4. And like you said, Dave, there was not one moment of anxiety past like that first 6 minutes of the first quarter because they were just dominant throughout.
Yeah. I'll be honest though, that anxiety, I don't know how you're feeling, Jack. That first drive it was like, no fucking way are we going to struggle against the Panthers, right? And then we come out and drop 30 straight, right? 30 unanswered. It's pretty. That's a good question. Do you want to answer that, guys?
So 4,000 yards.
So Thomas Whitty on YouTube goes, is a 4,000 yard season coming from Caleb Williams? I know you've been cooking up a graph. I don't think it's ready yet.
I don't have it
so
yet.
maybe
Yeah,
let's
no,
not answer that.
We'll have that. Actually, let me get that graph cooked up for our pregame show, and then we can discuss on our pregame to see where he's at on that. But it's possible. Look, you keep throwing 300-yard games. I know you're not going to always do that, but you sprinkle in 5 or 6 more of those, 100% you can hit 4K, no question.
Yeah, I think he's going to do it. We'll leave it at that. I want to go to let's go to players of the game here on both offense and defense. Do you want me to start, boys, or who wants to go?
Yeah, go ahead. You go ahead.
Okay, so I'm going to start on defense. I'm going to go Brisker. I think he is unreal, and I didn't even realize you're repping it. Seriously, this dude. I'm not going to jump to conclusions like all pro or anything like that, but he is an elite safety and probably the hardest hitting safety in the league right now. He is just unbelievable to watch. He knocked a guy out, forced a fumble as well. Almost knocked himself out, I think, too. But he got up and walked out on his own. And I just think he is just one of my favorite players right now on this Bears team. And there's a lot of them, right? You got Swift. You got so many personalities. Andrew Billings. I mean, Javon Dexter. This defense is just elite. It is so, so good. And it's going to keep the Bears, like you said, Ficky, I think last week, it's going to keep them in every single game. It doesn't matter who you're playing. High-powered offense, as long as you can at least be adequate on offense, you have a chance to win a game here. And they've shown that here in the first 5 games. So I would say Brisker is my player of the game on defense. Offense, man, I want to go Williams. I do, and I think that's the easy one, but I'll leave that for you. I'm gonna go Swift. I think he is just a game changer. The way that he can just take a little dump off, 50 yards, like easy, is just he really unlocks this. The dynamic is just. What do you say, Fick?
No, I'm saying that's how he should be utilized. That's his skill set.
Yeah,
he's not.
But he also is running the ball so well. I mean, he's just really these last 2 games. I think I don't know if I showed the stats on him, but he's such a dual threat running back, and 285 total yards in the last 2 games. That's 9 receptions for 119 yards, 37 carries for 166 yards, and 2 touchdowns, right? And he should have probably another touchdown or 2, but you got Roshan and Doug, who just clean up at the goal line, which I love it. Sure. But shout out to Shane Waldron today, giving it to Swift after he had that, I think, dump off for like 50 yards gain, got to the goal line, and they ran it with Swift. I think it was jumbo personnel. They ran it back-to-back times with Swift. Same play call as when you have, I think, Kramer and Roshan, but they had Doug and Swift this time. Gets him that touchdown. And I know people are like, does it boost morale? Is that really something? But I really, truly believe he got you down there, give him that touchdown. Because he was frustrated, I think, after that first touchdown.
He got pulled out he got pulled out on the one where he got down there, and then they put in Roshan. But yeah, that's good. That's always good to give him at least once he did the work to get down there. So I'm cool with that. I think those player of the games make sense. Mine on defense is because I would go Brisker too. I mean, like he made a big play. I would say play though, like the one play, that Kevin Byard interception was crazy. The tracking of that, and then to be able to reach out and catch that. But mine is going to be less of a player, but just more like a mentality of this defense, which I've noticed week after week, and you see it again this week. Their tackling is immaculate. The beginning of last season, we talked about how like tackling was an issue, and I know it got brought up a lot because of the hits. We'd be like, dude, like what's the T stand for if you can't wrap up? That has not been the case since the back half of last year. I don't know if they missed a tackle this year. And there's so many hats around the ball. And why I say that's like the play of the game or whatever is because there are so many situations where it's 3rd down and there was a short dump and the guy would get like 3 or 4 yards, and like you miss a tackle, it's easy for him to get 2 yards there and convert, but it'd be one person or it'd be like 8 helmets on the ball, and they would tackle him right there. It ended up being like 4th and 2. That is huge, right? Because you give your offense now the time. You're giving your offense 1 or 2 more possessions. And obviously we capitalized on those this year. So the tackling, just like overall, that's my player of the game on defense. And then on offense, obviously Williams is great, but DJ Moore revenge game, man. DJ Moore again. This is basically DJ Moore going on a date with his new girl, and he sees his ex at the restaurant and just flexes a little bit. You know what I mean? He's like, hey, look what I got now, buddy. I'm on to bigger and better things. Have fun in the state of North Carolina. So I know he had that not pivotal, but he had that big drop on 3rd down. So it's like his only like Knicks, but like overall, DJ was hooking.
Dude, I'll be honest. That drop, it low key, it sent me into another world. I was like, huh? Like it shook me, dude. I could not believe he dropped. I could not believe it. And also it was I think it would have put Caleb over 300 passing yards. Now he eventually got there. But yeah, that was nuts. The only person I know in the whole entire world that loved that drop was this guy to my left or my right.
Over here.
Mr. Jack. Yeah, Jack.
Jack is probably jumping through the window, bro. So
which leads to our next segment, DJ Moore and his body language. How was it today, Jack?
You pulled it, Dave. You're muted.
Jack, you're muted. I'm just kidding, Jack.
We're going to address the tweets. That's what we're going to do first. Very first step.
Okay.
Number 1, the tweet. There were 3 total tweets that I have about DJ Moore. In my life, I think, DJ Moore, 3 of them. Number 1 was him sitting on the bench alone. Nothing in there was a lie, opinionated, or not factual. He was the last player out there. He was sitting by himself. That's all I stated. There was no lie. Number 2, I made an opinion. I made an opinion. I will never do it again. I will stick to funny pictures that I make and funny captions. I will never make an opinion again. That leads me to my 3rd one, which was the apology. I overreacted. I said that it was too hot of a take. I fucked up. I said it. It's addressed. When he caught that first touchdown, my shit blew up of people.
I'm sure.
Just like,
wait till what was the second one like?
Get out of here. Get out of here.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah. It is funny.
I'm a fan of my team. It just doesn't mean. So I will publicly say I'm still, besides today, because the team works. And when the team works, everyone is happy. When the team isn't working fully, then people aren't happy. And I want everyone happy. I'm a good man.
Clear his name.
That's all I want.
It's okay. At the end of the day, we know that you like DJ, but it is funny. Like, that's the first thing I thought about too. Every time DJ does well, I'm just like, oh, I know Jack.
I know.
So
everyone wants my lineup like I'm his I'm not.
Jack, welcome. You just learned a very valuable lesson in the media. You have to be very careful with hot takes, especially when it's a team that you cover and you're a fan of, because we're all emotional. Like, of course, we all get pissed off. I mean, DJ Moore, he gets pissed off. That's why he has those emotions on the sideline. But at the same time, Sylvie today, I think after the first touchdown pass, he had a tweet took a picture of DJ just sitting there. I think his arms are crossed, just on the bench by himself, which was so funny to me, dude. Because like that is DJ. He really is such a mellow guy, so calm typically. So I love it. But yeah, media 101, the hot takes, you gotta be prepared because you might not live them down.
I get it. So again, so then we'll bring that up. Sylvie's picture. I get what he was doing and like everyone calm down. I'm still fucking annoyed because I look to my left and DeAndre Swift and Tyler Scott and like 3 other offensive players are sitting right to the left of him and he's sitting alone. Like if that's your fucking thing, I get it. Like whatever, it's fine. But like as a fan, I see that picture and I'm like, why? Just like talk to your guys, bro. I don't like again.
Well, here's my thing. As long as for me, I don't care if you're producing, and he keeps producing, so it's like whatever. The problem is when they aren't producing.
What's up, Daryl?
That stuff like Jay Cutler, Jesus. You know what I mean? And then now you're like, oh, now you start to put things together. You're like, oh, now you're a cancer. You're not supporting your teammates. You're not doing this, that, and the third. So I'm not too concerned, but I definitely understand why you're gonna have to live with that one for a good bit.
Wait. Now that you're saying that, I'm riled up now. Number 2, I got to bring this back up. The tweet that I quoted was CHGO, right? And everyone was like, watch the video. There was no video at the time. Like, I wasn't watching it.
No. It was just a quote.
I don't watch press conferences every second of my life. I wasn't watching it. I saw the comment. Everyone's comments were the same goddamn thing on that thing. And it was like, why is he like this? Why is he like this? And then everyone's like, watch the video. I did, but I'm a man of honor, and so I'm not deleting it. I'm not a baby. So I'm not going to delete it ever. That's not fair to hold that against me. Everyone's like,
no, Jack.
Yeah, I read the quote because that's what I see. I'm on Twitter, not on YouTube Chicago Bears press conferences with the wide receiver. I don't care about that.
That's fine. It is funny though.
At the end of the day, DJ is a wide receiver one. He is elite. He showed it today. 2 touchdowns. Just an insane player. I think he's also just a great individual. One of the guys.
Back up. That was funny. Right here from Eduardo. So Jack more riled up than the Panthers at the end.
Let's get to that real quick because Matt Pryor, right? His first name's Matt. Don't know why I'm blanking here. Panthers are bums for that, dude. Like, I know Pryor probably shouldn't throw a punch there, but I love that attitude because Nate Davis would probably been on his ass or something. Like he wouldn't have been there. Like, first of all, I cannot believe he didn't even get a snap today, Davis. It was
talk about takes that are not ending well for us, Dave, because we have definitely been on the high Nate Davis one, and it is not.
He's serviceable.
I mean, you still want him on your team. It's just like I thought he would be starting.
Yeah, I thought he would.
But
unless he's not healthy, that's pretty bad. If he's healthy and he's not playing like this,
not a good sign.
Yeah, I don't know.
Not a good
At
sign.
the end of the day, but yeah, do we get to?
We didn't get to Jack's first player of the games. No,
I could go real quick.
And why is it DJ Moore?
So it's not going to be DJ Moore. It is DJ Moore. Okay, it's DJ Moore. Good game. Blah blah blah. Don't care. I did want to give also like the honorable mention to Matt Pryor for throwing the punch. I know it's like not classy. You probably shouldn't punch, but I mean, it's when like Roshan's hyping up the crowd, everyone's going fucking crazy. That's cool. I like that. Defense, I was sort of going to do what Ficky did, but I wanted to do it with the secondary. I thought the corners played really well, and Andy had a horrible game. He was missing like passes left and right. Yeah. But like, regardless of that, like you're holding down a decent receiving core. Like Leggett has obviously played really well. Mingo's sort of, I mean, like again, they're not like big names. It's not Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, but like regardless, we really shut them down. There was never a moment in time where like they were starting to get like the hang of it. It just didn't. Tyreek Stevenson played great. JJ played great. We just talked about Brisker and Byard. Like the secondary just played so locked down, and it gave them no chance at all to get any momentum. So that's
this defense is really good. I mean, we all know this, but it's like week after week, we still haven't had a game yet all season where you're like, wow, the defense didn't show up. And I know that this wasn't going to be the game where that would happen because obviously the Panthers suck, but talk about you say how important confidence is for your rookie quarterback. The confidence on the defensive side of the ball, I feel like they can shut down anybody because they literally have.
I think the Bears are unbeaten at home on the season, but I think that's 8 straight games at home they've won.
Yep.
And all that bleeds over, I think, from last year.
It does.
That's crazy, dude. That's awesome. You got to take care of business at home, and they're doing that. You love to see it. We'll do our preview next, but let's go ahead and let's do our little ad here. And again, if you're here for the first time, hit that like button, sub. We do this every single week, instant reactions. Of course, then we'll have a preview pod next week as well. But let's go ahead and do a quick little ad, Vic.
Absolutely. So this is your first time. Please like and subscribe. It is free. It really helps push our show out in the algorithm so it can reach out to new fans and make sure it hits in your feed as well so you can still watch your favorite episodes of us just getting Jack riled up. So we appreciate the love and support. And if this is your first time, please give a hashtag new face gang in the chat. That is new face gang. We'll give you a shout out before the end of the show. And if you are an OG, which means this is not your first time and you've watched us before, please give a hashtag OG in the chat and we'll give you a shout out. Also, if you want to support us, you can support us by checking out our store. And that is the BFRstore.com, where we have hats, hoodies, shirts, and hats already. We've got a whole bunch of great stuff, different colorways for you there. We're working on some other new stuff as well. So if you want to support us, you can do that. That's the BFRstore.com. The link will be in the description. And if you want to join our ongoing community on Patreon, we do have a Patreon as well called the BFR Den. You can join for free if you just want to join and kind of see the episodes we post and what's going on there. We drop our monthly schedules. We also, if you get into our 2 tiers, which is our rookie Grizzly tier and our Hall of Fame tier, we do free monthly giveaways. We do our 1v1 calls. We do We do our mailbag episodes, extra content, all the other stuff, and anything else that Dave and I and Jack will be cooking up. It will be on there as well. So that is the BFR Den on Patreon. All the proceeds from both the store and the Patreon just go back into the show so we can keep creating fire content and keep creating entertaining show and keep leveling this up for y'all. So again, if this is your first time, well, go ahead and give a hashtag New Face Gang. If this is your second time or plus that, give a hashtag OG. We'll give you a shout out by the end of the show. Like and subscribe, and we appreciate everybody's support so far.
No, absolutely. Road to 10,000 subs is still going. We're almost there. So you guys have been awesome. So continue to support.
Crazy.
Best way to do that is hit that like button. It kind of gets the video out there, and it, of course, supports the channel. So there was a comment here on YouTube. I can't confirm it, but I'm about to. I'm going to run with it because it might be accurate. DJ Moore just said that this is the best the Bears offense has looked since he's been here. And that is interesting because he's had some big games. Washington comes to mind. You had the Denver game. Of course, there was a meltdown. But maybe just because honestly, this really was outside that first drive and perhaps maybe that penalty. I think it was on the late in the third or early third quarter where Swift got a holding penalty where he just got ran over. I don't know how he even got
I don't
on
know
that. But that kind of stalled the drive. Other than that, it was pretty much what Chicago was just moving the ball and doing whatever they wanted.
There was no question.
So interesting, right?
Yeah, that's what
do y'all think on that?
It's a dominant win, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Number is 5 touchdowns. We have not seen that in a long time. I know all of us predictions had the Bears scoring over 30, right? So we all felt that's what they should do, but feeling that they should do it and then the team actually doing it are two completely different things, which obviously we know for sure. So just being able, we knew the defense was going to be fine. Like, I don't think any of us thought like Carolina was going to reach, over 3 touchdowns, but the offense actually showing up and getting their job done and doing it well.
Dude, Andy Dalton was balling the last 2 weeks. Over 500 passing yards in 2 games. I think he had 2 or 3 touchdowns. He had 1 pick, of course. But, I mean, he has been playing well. And it's a testament to this defense because I had a feeling they were going to shut him down just because I think this defense is already top 5. I know we talked about that. It's probably not a hot take or anything. But the way they play at all levels, I think this defensive line is better than we even thought. Like, way better.
100%.
Montez Sweat's kind of quiet, but I mean, that interior between Dex and Billings is just nasty. It is disgusting. They get pressure on not just whenever you need it, they get it. It's like whenever you need a big play,
big downs,
Andrew Billings with the sack late in the game. It's very impressive because they are just so opportunistic. And then Tyreek Stevenson even had like a drive where he shut down Deontay Johnson and forced a 3 and out there. And then you have, I think, probably the best nickel or one of the best nickels in football, at least blitzing wise, in Kyler Gordon. He is just
great.
He smells blood, dude. Yeah. I mean, the whole team is. What a 180 from like Eddie Jackson and those boys back there a couple of years back
then too. So it's like this it's even better, which is crazy. You know what I
mean?
They
just don't miss. They wrap, and then the linebackers between Edmonds,
DJ and Edmonds, even Sanborn. That's easy.
They lock it up. Like once they hit, Gordon, boom.
That's the thing. You get touched by anyone on this team, you're not breaking loose in most cases, right? Yeah. I think what's a great point you said, Dave, is this defensive line, right? Because we have Billings played well last year. Great to see him still kind of doing his thing. The biggest question mark was like, who else other than Montez? And Montez has been playing well this year too. He has in 5 games, he has like 2.5 sacks or something like that. So like he's been doing well. But the question was, who else was going to show up? None of us ever would expect it'd be a 6th-round pick, Darrell Taylor, on passing downs. Like he was in the backfield multiple times, like close to getting sacks, close to getting strip sacks on Andy Dalton. We've seen him do it already a couple seasons. No one expected that. I mean, when we traded for him, I think most of us were like, who? Which makes sense, right? 6th-round pick. So this isn't anyone big. So he's been showing up. Javon Dexter had a half sack again today. May have 2 half sacks. So he may have a full sack. So he's on like 3 or 4 sacks in 5 games. So he's freaking balling out. So some of those questions on the D-line were like, yo, is it just the Montez Sweat show? Like, it's not. Can this D-line obviously get better? Obviously, no question. There's still improvements, but like they are getting guys to play to the best of their ability. So a shout out to our our Flus meter on this, but shout out to Flus and the defensive coaches on making this team play at the best potential, even with some of these no names, particularly on the D line.
Yeah,
like everyone is playing well.
I think it's really a testament to Ryan Poles and just the entire staff, because I mean they pivoted, right? They were going for Matthew Judon, right? That was they were trying to land a big fish there, and as soon as that fell through, I mean, 24 hours later or something like that, they made the switch and picked up Taylor, who has been, I'm not going to say just as good as Judon because I've watched him. He looks pretty good in Atlanta. However, Taylor's just been, he helped win a game last week. He's made some big plays, pressure. Well said, Ficky, because it's a huge pickup. You don't get him. I don't know. Booker's looked very good, but I don't think he's quite ready yet, even though he made a nice play today.
Really good in the run game is where you notice he's like very good with that. But yeah,
that allows you, but to allow Booker some time, right? To kind of get used to the NFL. Maybe even we could see week 8, week 9 where Booker really starts to come on as well. And then this defense can just transcend even more in regards to the heights that they're going on that side of the ball. So I want to get to our meters though. I think that's a good idea. If you don't mind, Fick.
Yeah, no problem. Let's go ahead and get to Caleb meter. Let's start there with this guy. I'm going to put Caleb in the 3/4 mark. I think he was a little bit less, so he got a bump. Look, great things to see. He's improving. No turnovers, which is huge. Multiple touchdowns, which is great. 300-plus yards. Like, you can't ask for much more. He could be at the very end, but it's more of like, for me, it's like how the season, like, total meter is. Like, this game, like, yeah, the 10 out of 10. You can't do anything better. Maybe, like, an extra touchdown. I know some got called back, but like he is moving the meter more and more each week. And that's all I give a fuck about. Because at the end of the day, I want to, when the season's over, if that meter is in that green, we've got our guy. That's all that matters. The ups and downs that come along the way are going to happen, but I want to walk away from this season being like, that's QB1. I feel like all the moves we made to build this team are now supplemented with, for once, the Chicago Bears drafting the right guy at the most important position. So I'm feeling great.
I like it.
How it's done.
Yeah, and this meter, again, for those new, I know there's probably a lot of new faces already here in the chat. I can, at least from what I can see, the meter is just based on the entirety of the year. I know that's probably self-explanatory, but just in case, it's not game to game, or it's not a game meter. It's from the get-go, really. So,
all right, Dave, let's take a look at yours. What you got here?
I think I'm all the way juiced up, man. Get almost to the GOAT status already. No, seriously, where this is kind of from week 1, weeks 2 to be here, I feel so good. Caleb is progressing. I mean, that touchdown to DJ Moore, not only did he manipulate the safeties, right? It looked like it was actually a screenplay I think it was to Komet, actually. Nate Tice was kind of examining it today. And I didn't even realize it was a screenplay.
Neither did I. I did not know that.
Yeah, I'm like, what the hell? So he obviously manipulates the safeties. He ignores the screen, which I think would have went for a couple yards. And then as he turns, he just sees DJ and lets it rip. I just think the progress and that the rate he is going, it's really got me excited for this team, because if they have a adequate offense, and right now it looks like it's above average, where you're dropping 36 on a team with ease. Because it could have been more. They left some points out there.
Sure.
But for me, with the defense and now an offense that is starting to really build chemistry and figure out an identity, that is scary, not only for just the NFC, but for whoever they play, because this is a team you do not want to play right now. And I'm excited about the Jags game. I know they play at 8:30. That kind of worries me. Weird ass time in London, but excited for that game nonetheless. But I feel so confident, Caleb. Like, I'm not going to say the best ever, like the most confident I've ever been, because I thought Justin was not the best ever, but in the Bears organization. Okay. But I was very confident at Justin.
Clip that, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I was very confident at one point in Justin Fields being the guy. So I am a little worrisome to be like, but the way that it's just two different quarterbacks when it comes to, processing, and also just the way he gets the ball out. I mean, the angles as well. I'm super impressed with Caleb, and I'm excited to see if he can continue to build on this, right? There's still going to be growing pains. So be prepared for that. But man, it looks like he's starting to figure it out, and the game's slowing down.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Jack, what about you, my man?
Yep, for mine, I'm in the same spot as you, Ficky. Obviously, it was a fantastic game. I think we had him at like the halfway marks, right in the middle, prior to this. But again, it was a fantastic game. He played really well. Nothing more or less I would ask for him. Like we said, it was the Panthers, sort of like it. I saw somebody tweet like it feels like a practice game, and so I sort of got like that. It felt like almost like a scrimmage, like throw around. But you can only beat who you play. So obviously, I'm not going to fault him for it. But yeah, we definitely made progress. I will say, because I'm a baby, the play, I forget if it was the second or third quarter, the play when he did that crazy ass, like step up in the pocket, step back side to side, and then like ran around and then ended up throwing it away. That play made me sick to my stomach. I did not like it. I wish it stopped 10 seconds earlier. That scares me because
15
he got out.
seconds long.
Right. And so he got out of it. It was an incompletion throwaway. So like, I'm obviously I'm not going to beat him up for it because it worked out. Had that not have worked out and it was 2nd and 38 because we did all that, I would have been, I won't say what else.
I think that's a great call out though, because week 1, he would have taken that sack. So it's good to see that he extended it for as long as he could to figure out what he can do. And then literally, I'm like, do anything but take the sack, throw it away. And he did, right? I do get you, though. The anxiety's high with all that, but it's actually a great comparison because in the Titans, he literally took a 19-yard sack doing that same stuff. So it's good to see that, like, hopefully this is some of the stuff that he's been working on, improving on, and learning. So you made a great comment, though, and I'm going to bring up a comment here. You talked about, like, hey, you can't pick who you play. And there was a comment where someone, I think you just removed it. But basically, someone said he played the Panthers. Big deal.
Yeah.
Like, look, he's like, how are you guys getting excited for? You got to take it how it is.
Right.
You learn in the NFL that any team can beat any team. It happens. So I'm going to be excited no matter who Caleb or who the Bears are playing.
So, go ahead, finish Vic, because I have something.
Basically, I'm like, look. For a team that it's hard to get wins by, that's one thing. For a team that has not had consistent great quarterback play, when I see either of those two happening, there's no way I'm going to be excited. Like, beggars can't be choosers. And again, it's the NFL. This isn't like NCAA, even though you saw some upsets this weekend.
Yeah.
But it's not like the Panthers will beat someone this year where they're not supposed to. I'm pretty sure the Panthers last year, yes, the bad Panthers beat the Super Bowl winning Chiefs in the regular season. So any given Sunday happens all the time. So when we come in here and do our job, I'm going to be super hyped for it.
Yeah. I mean, today was great because not only did they win, it was a dominant win. And that's what you wanted to see. That's what needed to happen when you look at this roster and even Caleb Williams, who is the number 1 pick. So you expect big things from him, but also the progression, his passer rating by game this season. So starting from week 1, he had a 55.7 rating. Week 2, 51. Week 3, 80.8. Week 4, 106.6. And today he had 126.2. So, I mean, the steady, not even steady because it's jumping, right? It is jumping. It is staring you right in the face in regards to his growth. And I think, the Panthers, it was a get right game for Chicago, and they fucking got right. But that's what you expect. That's what you need. If this was a struggle bus, like itching out, winning by like 3-6 points, and there was turnovers, I mean, that's worrisome, right? And then, it would be hell. It would be hell in Chicago media if Caleb continued or somehow struggled against the Panthers today. So he took care of business.
Could you imagine?
But it's not even Caleb because he played great. It's what's exciting about this team is it's like overall, all phases are just playing so much better than they were the first 2.5, 3 weeks. And it's like if everyone continues to progress and they continue to grow as a team, Shane Waldron even, who is just, I want to give him his flowers because he was under so much scrutiny, and rightfully so, early on in this season. I know we're 5 games, it's a sample size, small sample size, but it's like all phases of this team have gotten significantly better over the first 5 weeks of the season. So, and it's awesome because at the end of the day, what I want this team to do in year 1 of Caleb is to compete for a playoff spot, whether that's wild card. I know the division is kind of getting out of hand. Minnesota's
Fucking Vikings.
ridiculous.
Jesus Christ. That was a great game,
I was
by the way.
cheering for Aaron Rodgers today. Like, I was like, can you beat
so
the
was I.
fucking Vikings, dude? Like, I didn't tweet it because I was like, I don't know. But I'm like, man, I wanted him to have one more comeback win in him. But it looks like the Jets are kind of dead in the water, to be honest. So
the game where you finally need Rodgers to look like Rodgers. The man goes out there and throws a pick six and 2 other interceptions. You're just like, dude.
This is another good Thomas Woody with a very witty comment as well, because they cleaned up the penalties. Seriously.
Yeah, I think they only have 4. I think it was pretty low. So
and then even like 1 or 2 of them were like, oh, really, ref? Like, they were kind of bad. The refs were horrible in the second half.
Some 2 pass interferences that were like touchy, and then the what's it called? The one you talked about, the Swift holding, where it's like he kind of got plowed over.
No, I know he grabbed him as he was falling down, but I mean, like, come the fuck on, dude. And then the DPI,
but it was a clean game.
The Phantom DPI was nasty.
That was bad. But it was a pretty good, a clean game, and that is a testament to who? Your head coach. So, Jack, let's go ahead and take a look at the Flus meter and see what we have on those. You like what I did there? Let's see. With the Flus meter here, I have him. I think last week I had him at half. I have him a tick up. Look, came in here and you did what this team needed to do. Okay, the defensive side keeps looking great. So, like, that's probably half the reason why you're up there. But it was good to see you come back from having a pretty, I'd say, like, badly coached game last week to, like, especially with, like, being prepared in the penalties and things like that, and kind of being better with that this week. Now we'll see how he handles the how they handled the fighting situation at the end, right? That's good to see, but like in a close game, or if that's someone important, like that's a whole different, perspective around that is important, right? So it'll be interesting to see. We'll never find out, but like how he handles that in the locker room. But overall, like you said, head coaching, there wasn't any head coaching plays this week where you're like, what the hell was that? You know what I mean? Like what was up with like a timeout after, like a false start after a timeout, or a bad challenge flag. And then, like you said, Dave, every aspect of like the offense, special teams, defense, they seem pretty clean and pretty like well dialed in. So that's a testament to your coach. So
yeah, no,
from your boy.
Yeah, I love it. Let's get to my Flus meter. I'm hot on this one because I was critical of Flus. Seriously, his defense is insane. There's a comment here, and I tweeted it in the moment, but when he went for 2 at the end of the game, that was fucking diabolical. I loved that so much, man. Yeah, and I know they're just trying to get reps. I don't think he's trying to, rub it in, into Carolina at all. There's none of that, but it's just like, I love that mentality. Get your guys reps. And I don't know, man. I'm a big fan of Flus right now. I was concerned early on, just overall from the slow starts and everything. But I mean, he's proven to be a very decent head coach right now. It's such a critical year for him. So I mean, he's gonna have to still do a lot. But I know that Ryan Poles and that organization, they really love him. They're high on him, and right now you got to give him his flowers. Same with Shane Waldron. I mean, they're turning this thing around. 3-2. You could argue should be 4-2, but I mean, you got to feel good. I'm high on Flus right now.
It's really this offense, because that's why it's so hard with the Flus meter, and we'll get yours, Jack, in a second. But like, it's when the offense, because the defenses always look good, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And what he runs is good. So like, anytime the Flus meter has gone down or something like that, a lot of it's because, wow, this offense can't move the ball. So when the offense the run game looks good, opened up the passes, it's like, oh wow, Flus looks great. And it's like, well, yeah, because the one thing that you have no control over, or I wouldn't say no control over, but like the one thing that your hand's not necessarily in the pot was the weakest part of this team. So I agree with you on that, Dave. But Jack, how do you feel about the Flus?
Yeah, so I'm 99% sure that you stole all mine, but I do have Flus right in the middle of that third quadrant. I think that obviously the defense played really well. It looks like the guys are all meshing together except for DJ. But yeah, everyone, it just looks good. It's just a joke. It's weird to think that like a month ago we were like ready for like to bring pitchforks to his house and like kidnap his bees and like take them out and like
kidnap his bees is hilarious.
Yeah, like we wanted to get rid of everything that he had. We hated him, but now we're low key starting to see the team work together. You have to like give the coaches flowers when it's due. It appears that it is. I mean, again, we'll never know the conversations that happen at Hallis Hall, but you have to assume that at one point he sat down with Shane and said, listen, we need this. and like it has to work, and it's starting to work. So,
one of those.
Go ahead.
Jack, you know what one of those things probably is running the ball.
For the love
trench
of
talk,
God,
but
yes.
the two games that we played really well in is because the offensive line has done a great job on the passing and running, right? That's definitely a testament today and last week. That was a testament, specifically with the run game. And then on the defensive side, getting pressure, which they've been doing all season, or at least like they've been decent. So, yeah, developing that run, it was actually funny. So I was with some friends. I was watching it. I'm at the crib now, but I was watching it downstairs, and I was talking to my friend, and I was like, look, we just got to run the ball more, and it's going to help establish the play action. And literally the next play, the play before it was like a big run by Swift, and there was a play action literally the next play, and that was the deep ball to DJ. And I was like, look, I mean,
Get you in there.
Get you right there. So not to boost to me, but it's like it's the obvious answer. And it's just the team hadn't for week 1 through 3, right? Because it's week 5, they just hadn't seemed to be able to do that. So I'm most excited for moving forward to see. Obviously, the run game is not always going to be 100 yards, per game, right? But I'm excited to see, like, can they continue some of this offensive schematics, particularly with the run game, moving forward? Because if you can do that and you can get someone to bite on these play actions like they have, I trust Caleb so much on play action that he's going to be able to deliver to someone open, right? Because we've seen that. So I think I'm just really excited that finally, like, the offensive line and the run game is developing. There's still work to go, and we need to get more talent on that line. But, like, they're starting to mesh and do things a little bit better than what they did, like, week 1 and 2, because it was so bad.
Yeah, and I think another thing with that too is my friend pointed this out because we'd watched the games together. He pointed this out, and then White Sox Dave at Barstool on the mid show mentioned it as well, and it's a good key point.
Mm-hmm.
Through weeks 1 through 3, Caleb constantly, like I would say every other play, would look to the sideline asking for the call. He wanted a certain tempo. He wanted to keep things going, and he constantly would ask for the call. And it's like it drove me crazy once I started paying attention that, like, my quarterback plays a certain way. He has his entire life and wants to keep his own tempo, his own pace, and he can't get the damn play out. And so we sit there and we use all 40 seconds rather than the 20 that Caleb wants to use. However, from weeks 4 and 5 now, it appears that that's not a problem anymore. That I haven't, at least myself on TV, and then when I was at the game, seen him like blatantly like look to the side.
We haven't had delay a game either or anything like that.
Right, exactly. So it's like we have a tempo, we're building on it, and you have to work with your quarterback.
Also, the past 2 weeks, what we've noticed is that they've done more no huddles. I don't know if you've noticed that as well, but there's been a couple times where, like, they really, and maybe that is a testament too of like how much of the playbook and like the development of knowing, right? Because again, it's a rookie quarterback. So with like Caleb maybe having a better understanding of how the offense, how they want to attack and the plays and things like that, there's probably a mix with that. And they probably feel a little bit more comfortable where they can start to do that. But I agree with you, Jack. Like, I love that because you can go in no huddle and making sure to get the tempo. You get this defense that's the opponents are going to be tired and you can take advantage. Go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, I think it was the second drive. So the first drive, they're kind of out of sync. You're worried for a minute. They come back, drop 30 straight. But I mean, that second drive was such a statement because it was up tempo. It was fast. It was a good mix of run. Caleb was locked in. I mean, he is in control out there, man. And he's been in control the last couple of weeks in regards to just he is changing stuff. And I know the one thing when it comes to Jaden and Caleb that you can say that is 100% true is that the Bears are allowing and trusting Caleb to do a lot more complex stuff, having full control. It is his offense. In regards to Jaden Daniels, even though he's balling, and I wouldn't change it up. Commanders are first in their division, and they are awesome.
Bro,
but Jaden Daniels, what?
That's crazy that the Commanders are first and Vikings are first. Like, that's two things that
it's weird as hell.
Nobody would have guessed that. Yeah. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off.
But no, JD is just, I mean, he's just not doing as much as Caleb right now. And at the end of the day, it is working for both teams, but you got to love it for Caleb. If you're a Bears fan, you see the complex stuff that he is doing. It is not beginner shit. It is quarterback play at a very high level. A lot of it, and I know people might hate it, but he reminds me a lot of Aaron Rodgers. Like, he looks like Aaron Rodgers out there at sometimes, which is so good for Bears fans, but it's kind of weird when you see a guy in a Bears jersey doing what Rodgers did in a Packers jersey for so many years. I think he's in full control. And we saw it today, man. It's exciting stuff.
Absolutely.
So
it's great stuff. What he had 3 touchdowns today. We got to at least see him in the end zone 3 times. That's exciting.
Yeah. When he spiked that ball and fell over.
That shit was hilarious.
I know it didn't count. That was funny, dude. Yeah.
That was hilarious. I think the NFL reposted because that was so funny. But yeah, and look, he looked good. He looked dynamic. We saw all aspects of him. I've literally no complaints for really any part of this team other than Santos missing a PAT. So
yeah. Hey, let's get to our voicemails. Do we have any other segments before our voicemails?
No, we don't. I think we only have one today because we won so much that people don't. I'm telling you,
I didn't tweet it out. No reminders.
Fine, but when we lose, we have like 50 voicemails.
I know.
It's like when we win easily, people are like, "Oh, whatever. I can go enjoy my day."
No, and I kind of laxed on that as well. I didn't get my normal spiel.
I think this was one at halftime, I believe, if I remember correctly, because this one came in early and it was from Ryan. So, Jack, if you don't mind dialing that in real quick and let's see what Ryan has to say.
Boys, it's Mr. James. Just a reminder, I'm the one that told you that DJ Moore was going to have 2 touchdowns today. Need the defense to keep the foot on the throat. I need a defensive touchdown so I can get $700. All right, bear down.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, love
you
it.
Didn't get the defensive touchdown. But
you got the 2 from DJ. So
yeah. Speaking of which, though, I don't know if you're following along with my parlay here. My flex play for Prize Picks. I'm not even sponsored by them, but I do play it, and I always like to do the Bears. But I kept $25 flex for $250, and I won it. Swift over 15.5 receiving yards. Jaden Daniels over passing touchdown. Cole Kmet over on the receiving yards at 26.5. Roshan Johnson. This is the one that everyone's like, really? I put less on 9.5 receiving yards, and he didn't get a reception.
He doesn't really get passed to.
I mean, last week he had, I think he had a couple, but they were taken back. I mean, he's sneaky, but I was just like, I felt confident. I was like, I didn't think he was going to get it. I thought they were going to be heavy on Swift. And then Roma Dunze over 32.5 receiving yards. He ended up with 40. And of course, Caleb Williams over a half touchdown, passing touchdown. So cashed out 25 or 250, man. I was like, damn. But
that's nice.
For a while, though, Roma Dunze was sitting at a half yard short in that fourth quarter.
Right, and he got 2 passes in a row back to back. So
man,
I'm sure you have. Yeah, I don't know how you can bet on. I don't know how you can bet on the team and watch it because I feel like
dude, I just told him that before the show. I said my cardinal rule: never bet on the Bears. 1, I'm always disappointed, and 2, you're right. Like you said, he can't focus.
I just feel like I know the personnel so well that I'm like I feel a little bit better with them. Does it make sense?
It's not the decisions you choose. I'm saying like my heart.
But I don't bet. I typically don't bet money line ever though, because I feel like that jinxes me. I don't like that. But I will bet individual props.
That's the only way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel you. Well, good shit on that. But my anxiety would be running through the fucking room. And knowing the Bears we know, like they would show up and shit the bed.
That's why I paid out so much, dude. I was like, hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, good shit on that. But yeah, that's all we got for voicemails. We could probably rock through some questions real quick if we got some. Actually, let's do these shout outs first before we do that, Jack. If you don't mind, we can knock some of those out. And if we're doing these right now.
D-Rose.
Yeah, facts. D-Rose was at the game. That was dope. Give a hashtag OG in the chat real quick if you're an OG for the show. And if you are new here, please give a hashtag new face gang in the chat. And if you do it quickly, we'll give you a shout out right here. So starting with our OG, Alex Hamilton said hashtag OG. Loved going to the scrum. Loved going for 2 after the scrum today. Yeah, that was great. I didn't really think it was like a diss. It was more of like, this is our opportunity to let's practice a play we've been working on or something.
No,
so I thought that was fantastic.
If it was, I fucking love it too.
Fuck
the Panthers,
you know what? Fuck David Tepper too. Like, so I'm not even mad about that. Dave Canella seems like he might be a decent coach though. But in parallel here on YouTube with
he looks hashtag, young, dude.
He is young. I think he's like
is he one of the youngest? Jesus, dude.
Yeah, crazy.
It's like he's a head coach.
A couple years older than me, which is wild. In parallel here with the OG triple OG to the big fucking Rod Pod. Appreciate that. Welcome to the big fucking Rod Pod. Giovanni Garcia on YouTube with the hashtag OG Bear Down. Much love, Gio. Thomas Whitty with the hashtag OG on YouTube. And we got Michael Beresford with hashtag OG. You guys heading to London. Bear Down. You're not. That does sound great, but that is an expensive trip. But that sounds great.
Yeah, if I didn't go on an Alaskan cruise. I think I would have maybe tried to make the trip to London, but I'll be watching this one with my coffee 8:30 next week, next Sunday. So
you know what? I kind of like morning games. I feel like for football, there's not. Look, hear me out. And maybe I'm crazy, right? A perfect scenario for Sunday because I'm on the East Coast, so you guys are Central, right? So I got to watch a game at noon today, right? So I get done with the pod, and it's going to be like 5:30. I'm like, wow, that's great. Everything's always an hour later for me on the East Coast. So waking up, getting stuff done, watching your sports, and then having the rest of the day to like the lights still up. Fantastic. So I actually love I wouldn't want all the games at 8:30 or 9, but having something you can wake up to, watch right away, and then you still got the rest of your day to do stuff is great. So
I agree, but I don't want my team on that at all.
Well, guess what, Jack? I got a surprise for you. Get ready next week.
I don't like it at all.
And we will be live right after the game as well. So lunchtime.
And then we got some more in here. So hashtag Doug Gross with the hashtag OG. Appreciate that. And then we have Chris Ford on YouTube with the hashtag OG as well. And then this is interesting. I wonder where you're at, Eduardo's. Is 6:30 your time right now, or 6:30 the game will be? So you must be in the West Coast.
Yeah, I think it's
California.
That's brutal.
Yeah,
That's
you're gonna
brutal.
wake up. You're gonna wake up looking like you're Abby. Like, really? This is what I gotta. You're gonna be like, what the fuck? So yeah, you're gonna need IV of caffeine into your veins. So good luck with that one.
But Jacksonville looked good today. I'm pretty sure they won, but they looked electric. They had some big plays. But they
Brian
have not
Thomas
played
looks
defense.
good. Brian Thomas
might be the GOAT.
Let's see how he looks against this secondary in Chicago.
Yeah, that's different. That's different. But yeah, he has looked good as a rookie.
I know we're going to obviously do the preview, but I did want to touch on it. Is I'm a little bit scared and skeptical of the idea that we have a ton of momentum here in our country, and then we have to go now to another country, and it just it's a total curveball, and I'm so nervous because Jacksonville plays here every single year. Obviously, the Bears already have before.
Because their owner owns part of the stadium.
But regardless, I'm so nervous that we're going because now it becomes a Jacksonville home game because of this, because they play there, and who else are you going to cheer for besides the team that you can see physically all the time? I'm just a little worried that we have this momentum now, and then we go here, and it's again, it's the 8:30 game our time, and it's in another country, travel, blah blah blah. I'm scared out of my mind that it's going to fuck up the momentum. We're going to go into this game, shit the bed, and then come back, and it's just going to be okay, now go ahead.
It's such a big game, too. And
right.
Like you said, Jack, we're going to get into our preview, but, you got to beat Jacksonville because then you get a bye heading into a very big game that probably be flexed if they can flex
Commanders,
it yet.
right?
Commanders, Jaden Daniels and company, I think it's going to be – that's why if you can be 4-2 heading into that matchup, you feel really good,
Do we have an actual bye after the mini bye?
After Jacksonville,
bye, right? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, we had an
100%.
early bye this year. Normally we
get 2 weeks
bye,
of talking about Jaden Daniels and Caleb Williams, and hopefully Caleb balls out again, so it's a little bit more of a positive, which it should be right now. It really should be. So,
but I feel you, Jack. Any of those international games can feel like trap games because there's just so many variables that are involved. Yeah. So, but hey, look, I know one thing: that defense is going to show up, and as long as that defense shows up, we're going to have a chance to win it. So. Which actually, I think now we're in the. It makes sense because we're 3-2. But if our plus minus marginal, I think we're plus 30 now or 20 something on the season. Because so far, even when we were 2-2, I think we're a +2 because every game we've been in at least, or it's been close, right? Coming down to the last quarter or the last drive. So this was our first blowout one, so we should be up
So right now, the Bears have 113 points for and have given up 85 points. It's a very good point differential. In our division,
and the turnover differential is pretty good too.
Oh yeah,
on our edge.
The Vikings have 139 points for. They've only given up 76 points. The Lions have 104 points and 82 points against, and the Packers have 104 to 89. But the Packers haven't finished their game, so.
Also, that defense in the Vikings, that might be better than ours. Brian Flores, I've watched a lot of the Vikings game.
Mm-hmm.
That defense is crazy right now. The blitz packages he's sending, and they are just shutting. And they played top tier quarterbacks.
That's why you have a run game, hopefully, though.
I agree. Look,
we'll see.
for a minute, we don't have to worry about that for a minute, but I was just in the back of my head, I was thinking about like why the Vikings are so good. I'm like, dude, their defense is freaking nasty right now. And I think technically, so we're like the second best secondary. I was looking at by week 4, it might change after this week. We were second, and the number 1 best secondary in the NFL was the Vikings. So it's a tough division that we will have to worry about here in a couple. Still got like 6 weeks or so, but this back half of the season is going to be do or die. But
I love it, man. I wouldn't have it any other way.
Oh, and look, perfect way to end the show. Jordan Love just threw a pick 6. Thank you, Cardi on Fence on YouTube. Appreciate that. No better way to end the show than with the Jordan Love pick 6.
I just seen it too. It's fucking bad, dude. He's actually been, I don't know, man. The Rams are up 14-7. Hopefully they win because that would be huge because then the Packers are 2-3. This division is nasty, so hopefully we get a good result there. So, but again, if you're here, hit that like button before you head out. Apple, Spotify listeners, we love you too. Rate and review the pod, and if you haven't hopped over to YouTube to support it, you should do so as well. So we'll be back early or mid next week to preview our game in London against the Jags, and yeah, that's about it. Anything else, boys?
Man, we won by 26. I got nothing else to say. Enjoy your Sundays.
Yeah,
This doesn't happen often, so enjoy it.
Hell yeah. Bear down.
All right, peace.